Today, we are exploring a concept I imagine is familiar to many of us, and that is the concept of perfectionism. I observe perfectionistic tendencies in many musicians, and they are also something I have dealt with quite a bit in my own experiences over the years. I would say that my perfectionistic tendencies are the very reason why I did about 25 takes of this video before deeming one perfect enough to share with you all today. So, we know that a perfect performance, one without mistakes, is impossible. And yet we continue to strive for this time and time again. I will often ask clients who are exploring their perfectionistic tendencies, would you put time and energy into searching for a unicorn? The answer to this is no, because we know unicorns are mythical. Perfect is also mythical, and yet we put hours of time and energy into our quest for this. I really believe that perfectionism sets us up for failure. If we are aiming for flawless, we will inevitably fall short. And therefore, I think we'll always feel like we failed or not met our standards, which only drives our propensity towards impossibly high standards higher. And in this, we have inadvertently created a toxic cycle. So, why do we strive for something that doesn't exist? As I reflect on my own relationship with perfectionism, I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that I like to work hard. I like to strive for things. These are things I value and I enjoy. Um, I think, though, for me, having high standards has become entangled um, with this idea of perfect. So I feel lazy or like I'm settling for mediocrity if I'm not aiming for perfect, because in my mind, I have coupled perfection with having high standards and working hard. And actually, having high standards really has nothing to do with perfect at all. And so, relearning, teaching my brain to uncouple these things, it has been challenging. But I also think one of the most liberating shifts I've made in my brain. So perhaps you're thinking something like, well, I don't aim for perfection. I aim for a good performance. Or maybe you're thinking, well, perfection isn't my goal, but nearly flawless is my goal. And while these thoughts may serve you, I think they can also be as unproductive as aiming for perfection itself. You know, with goals like near perfect, I think we become hyper focused, maybe even in some cases obsessed with the outcome. And in doing this, we completely overlook the importance of the process toward the outcome. When we are completely focused on results, the results of winning an audition or getting the gig or giving a performance that will lead to more gigs, we are consciously or maybe unconsciously trying to avoid failure. And I think it's this avoidant energy that negatively impacts our performances. We come to stage ready to fight off mistakes, ready to fight off failure. And I think it's this defensive energy that takes away from the art and the creative process. Imagine the opposite for a moment. Coming to stage open and ready to fully share yourself and your humanity, and how that kind of energy will impact your art and performance. So, is it possible to have high standards and also allow our humanity at the same time? Of course, but this is a practice. This mindset isn't going to happen overnight or in the first audition or performance you try it out on. Think about how long your current mindset has been in place. Most likely, it originated way back in the day and then got developed and reinforced over time. And in each audition and each performance, you exercise this mindset. So, yes, it will absolutely take time to undo your perfectionistic tendencies and shift instead to this process over outcome mindset. As you shift your mindset, this is going to feel very uneasy and very uncomfortable because it's very unfamiliar. And it might feel like the bar you've set for yourself is plummeting. I think a powerful antidote to those feelings is a nurturing, kind inner voice. One that sounds like, this feels icky, it feels counterintuitive, and like I don't have control. And that's uncomfortable. And it's okay to be uncomfortable. That acceptance and space you give to your discomfort is in itself honoring the process of creating something. And if we decide that that is our goal, to honor the process over the outcome, you're already achieving the goal here. So I also think that perfectionism often grows from a mindset that our worth is based only on our achievements. You know, if I don't win the job or get the gig, you might tell yourself you're a loser or you have nothing to offer musically. When we are utilizing a perfectionistic mindset, the words should and could are going to show up. I should have played better. I could have practiced more. And when these words show up, we are shaming ourselves. Something we did or did not do is not good enough. And we therefore feel like we are lacking something. And this becomes shame. Shame feeds perfectionism, so this becomes a really toxic cycle, and it craves an intervention of kindness and self-acceptance. That doesn't mean we're being lazy or complacent. Accepting ourselves and our humanity, I think, places more value on the process and less on the outcome. And I think actually that increases the likelihood of the desired results. So this is, like we said earlier, going to feel counterintuitive at first. And if you can stay with the initial discomfort of changing your mindset, I do believe the returns will be plentiful. And that doesn't mean that you're going to now win every audition or feel like you're being hired for every gig. But I do think you will feel better overall and more connected to yourself and to your art. And that is what is going to permeate every aspect of your life, I think, in the best of ways.